Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Guys, we've got 5v5 coming up. We just got done with 3v3. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'll kind of miss it. On the other hand, I do love 5v5 more than 3v3, so we're going to have a lot of fun. This video today, I want to show you guys some of the counters that I've been working on, some of the key factors that I see as 5v5, being in 5v5, and before that, I'm going to preload everything with some resources so that you guys can get to where you need to be, get the answers that you need, and I'm going to take as little amount of time as I possibly can on all of those, especially the resources. They're all in the video description, guys, so I'm not even going to say video description anymore after this. Everything I have in this video will have a link in the video description, unless it doesn't deserve it. If it's unworthy, then it's out. One group of people who is absolutely not unworthy is my patrons, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support, for all of everything, guys. You guys are amazing. I truly don't know what I would do without you guys. You guys will see some of the testing that has been transpiring in one of my most recent streams, and a lot of that has to do with your guys' support. And so thank you guys so much for that. Truly, you guys are the true MVPs. Most of you anyways. Some of you, I was going to say some of you suck, but that's actually false. Alright guys, let's talk about different resources real quick for 5v5, for 3v3 for that matter. I just want to show you guys a few important elements, important keys to what you can do. So first off, check out the Discord server. It is in the video description. Gosh, I just said I wasn't going to talk about it, but it's great, guys. It's a great community. You can see if you slice a good mod, we will give you the middle finger. That's a promise. It's a guarantee. Actually, not always, but it happens, and I don't necessarily hate that. Sound like such a jerk. Anyways, so we have the, I mean, it's the place to go if you're proud of your mods or if you're super angry. The Discord server is more than that, though. We talk about Grand Arena mostly. We do have a lot of other discussion, like it's been in the off weeks, so we have a lot of talk about, you can see people are even now discussing the new Galactic Challenge. They're supposed to be talking about it in raids and PvE, but you know, people spam that one sometimes, so everyone wants to leave. There's a lot of other different things, though. There's links to all these different things. We already have a category to talk about Conquest, and even though we haven't talked about it for a while, when it comes out, we're going to be talking about it a lot. Talk about your results here, how you ended up doing in a given match. You know, if you got Kyber, if you beat someone, you're proud of it, you hate someone, etc. You can even talk about your roster progress. You can talk about your brags. You can see you guys have already recognized this screen. I'm bragging everywhere. I've been doing well, and I'm proud of it. And also, we'll change your name to Blue, from white to blue, if you've made Kyber and you can prove it. So that can be, in the past, we've had like 16 total eligible seasons, so post some kind of proof that you've made Kyber and we'll turn your name blue here. It's a good time. So guys, we have over 2,500 members, or maybe just a little less than 2,500 in our Discord. It's a great place to talk about GAC specifically, but even if you don't want to do GAC, we talk about a lot of other stuff. It's all about competitive gameplay though. So go see our Discord. Next up, let's talk about the counters the counter sheet. Now, I know that there are other counter sheets out there. I don't claim that mine is more flashy than any of theirs. I do claim that mine is potentially more useful in a lot of ways. Not in every single way, but check it out, guys. So these are all matches that I've personally done or people that I trust have done. And so they link, they show, you can sort by the leader. And we're not going to talk for a long time because I've talked to you guys about this a ton in other videos, but you can see their opposing leader. It's sorted by the leader name alphabetically. Then you can see the team, the full team listed out. You can see the team that I used to counter it, and you can in alphabetical order as well. All the names, it's the leader plus then it's alphabetical from the next for the next 4. Then you can click on a link to get there. So let's just try this, guys. Here, let's we can mute it. Okay, so we really want to counter this thing. It'll jump us. We want to do Padme versus Galactic with Galactic Republic, so you can see exactly how we do. We've got the commentary and everything. I've got the speed or the sound turned off and everything, but that's you can see how we actually went about it. If you want more context, you can rewind and see what kind of team we're actually countering, etc. There's a lot of really good stuff here. We have a tab for 3v3. We even have a new one for ships, so go check the ships one out. Ships had been on the sheet this entire time, but it's not, I haven't made its own tab. So there's even an acronyms page, so that if you guys don't know what kind of madness I'm spouting, you can just look it up and see that DDK means Droideka. So, and sometimes we still say Droideka, and I note that. So it's a pretty good sheet. I know that there's not going to be a million. It's not going to have everything, but it's pretty good. It's I think one of the best resources that I've ever developed. So go check that out, guys. Finally, let's talk about how you can do. Everyone likes to do research on how their opponent did in GAC history. So go to swgoh.gg, research your opponent. So search like their player name, or here, let me, I can get this browser just a little bit different here. Hold 1 second. Well, I can if I don't mess things up. Here we go. Okay, hopefully this is big enough for you guys. So look at this, go to their GAC history, and you can see there's only the last like 3 weeks worth, and you're like, man, I really wanted to see what they did in 5v5 because 3v3 is way different, and I agree, it is way different. So what you got to do first, you have to change the URL, and so you just go to like round 2, and that changes the URL to have this like question mark GAC equals whatever. So the R equals 2 means the round that you're looking at. Don't care about that. The 50 means what week they're tracking. So this is week 50 that they're showing. 50 or 49 was week 3, 48 was week 2, and 47 was week 1 of 3v3. So let's do 46. GAC equals 46. And boom, you can see, I mean, this is my GAC history. You can do it for your opponents though. And in the top here, you can also see this number. That's just your opponent's ally code. So if you can't type it, if it's a name that you just can't, like they have some weird font or something, you can always just go to the history and type in their ally code. It can be kind of inconvenient, but it's still nice. Then you can see what your opponent used on defense, how they approach things, etc. It's a pretty good resource as well. The swgoh.gg guys know what they're doing. They have a good product, so go check that out as well. And then, in addition, guys, just check me out on Twitch. It's in the video description. Come watch live. It's fun. If you live in the right time zone. I don't have a super Euro-friendly schedule right now, but that could change. You can also sign up for notifications on my live streams. If you go here on the browser, you can't really see it. It's in the very top left, though. You'll be linked there if you ever join the server. But you're going to go to the thing called Information and Roles, and you can see we have a bunch of other really good GAC players, people in the Gambit Alliance. I'm part of the Gambit podcast, and so we have 7 other members in the Gambit Alliance, all GAC experts. Everyone is super good. You can sign up for notifications on their live streams and announcements here. All you have to do for notifications is opt in. You just click on one of these buttons that corresponds to one of these buttons. So if you want notifications via Discord on when I go live for my GACs, all you have to do is click on the 7 and you'll get there. So it's a good time, folks. Check it out. And with that said, let's actually talk about implications for this 5v5 season in particular. Season number 16. So I gotta click something to transition here. Here we go. Okay, so there's no secret, guys. Everyone hates ships, or not everyone. I realize that there are some people who love it, and nothing against you. I seriously, I'm kind of jealous. In fact, the fact remains, ships are not the most popular of pursuits of game modes. I realize that they're not. It's not my favorite. I think we need something like mods for them or something. Even as people are like, oh my goodness, like you need Jesus, and I'm like, yeah, totally. I get it. I get the angst. Here's the thing though, guys. Ships are a huge part of GAC success, and if you want to win, do it in ships. Like I've had a lot of matches lately where I've had a huge advantage in ships, and that was the only reason I won. I mean, really, ever since they added that second squad in ships or fleet in ships, whatever you want to call it, it's hard to call one capital ship a fleet. Honestly, even if it has a few like smaller fighters, it's not a fleet, dear Lord. Anyways, that's a tangent. You can chisel out a huge advantage. I know that some people like to just mail things in, use Malevolence and Negotiator on offense, and I get that. I do. Like, it's nice to think that you're just, like, not giving up any advantage. You're like, okay, we'll just both punt. But I swear, guys, like, using that Negotiator mirror match, or, like, you trying to use Malevolence against Negotiator. I mean, I do Malevolence against Negotiator sometimes, and it can be messy, but the truth is, guys, if you can start using some off-meta fleets, even if those fleets just need to be developed and you just throw them on defense, I mean, you can see my Empire fleet. I expect that I'll be putting this on defense sometimes this season, because I just recently got Gauntlet up, and part of that's because Mandalorian stuff is coming. I think that we're going to start seeing a heavy impact this season with Mando characters, or Mando faction characters. I don't know what they're going to look like. I know that if one of them is amazing, I may end up wailing on stream for them, trying to get all their stuff, so that might be fun. This team is not quite ready for the big time. I still need a couple relics on Gar and Imperial Super Commando, which is crazy that my entire Imperial faction is Gear 13, and we still aren't quite ready. I got TIE Fighter Pilot up, he's ready to go. Relic 6, need high relics on this particular fleet, but that's something that I've been working on. I also have Biston and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder at Gear 13 now, the Relic 4. It's a fast Biston now. This team can be used on defense or offense. I can kill Negotiators all day with this fleet. I also randomly have Cassian and K2 Relic. You guys will see why in a little bit. K2 might actually even have his Zeta on him, even though that's kind of dumb. I'm kind of considering doing it anyways. Now, otherwise, other factions that we want to be paying attention to. Obviously, the Mandalorian faction. You see I haven't whaled on the armor yet. I probably should. Let's see if there's any shards for her available right now. Other than these, I'm probably going to end up buying these too, for being honest. But armor is going to be good. Eventually, she can be very good right now babysitting the Galactic Legends, etc. But she doesn't. Otherwise, I don't know. She's not super duper relevant. So otherwise, we got Mandalorians, and then the other big faction that I want to focus on, guys. So here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about Galactic Legends a ton in this video. That, yes, they need off-meta counters. We have a ton of them. I have a ton of them available. I work on them. That's kind of in a way, how I've built my name in this game, is using off-meta counters. I'm not going to abandon them in 5v5 or anything. We're going to still be using plenty of those, but the truth is, I'm going to make a video about how to counter them later, sometime in the mid-season, I think. But until then, we need to focus. So people have plans for Galactic Legends. We're going to leave them aside. Beyond Galactic Legends, we still have a lot of teams that we have to account for. Between us using Galactic Legends on their Galactic Legends or vice versa, there's still going to end up being at least three teams that are not Galactic Legends, and this is in the end game. I know that other people are going to be facing way fewer Galactic Legends, but even if there's the max number of them, we still got to operate in the margin here. So, like in a lot of ways, people are all ready for the Galactic Legend stuff, and then just fail on these side squads. And one of them is General Grievous. I think the role of General Grievous is slowly expanding, or maybe it's detracting, I don't know, collapsing, so some word about it getting smaller, which is what she talks about. But anyways, I really feel like General Grievous droids or separatists are really going to be like kind of the key to this season in a lot of ways, like being able to counter them efficiently or being able to use them on offense to counter things is going to be really important. The other one that is super important are Sith Empire. Being able to counter this team in 3v or in 5v5 and 3v3, but in 5v5 is also going to be of paramount importance. So, with that said, guys, let's actually get into some video. I can't show you the entire clip of everything that I was doing, but there's plenty of footage here that I think you'll find interesting. Okay, so first I want to point out, this is all taken from a live stream that I did a few days ago with my buddy Fatal. He's a great theory crafter, better than I am, certainly, at Theorycraft. He's coming up with all kinds of madness. We did a stream where we tested a bunch of stuff, just talked about 5v5 prep. This is all on Twitch, so you're not going to hear his voice here. We're just totally negating the sound from that particular clip, from all of these clips, but you'll see him randomly awkwardly smile about things that, I mean, maybe you can understand or maybe not, but one way or another, this is this is just an awkward rendering of this video. So Fatal is hanging out there. Pay no attention to Fatal though, unless you think he's super hot, which maybe you do, which good for you. Good for him. Anyways. The first thing that I wanted to try here, well, one of the first things I'm going to show you that we tried is Mon Mothma versus General Grievous with Newt. So these are all relic. I think maybe Newt is not relic, but he's kind of irrelevant in some ways for relics. So we're using Mothra. That's what I call Mon Mothma. You guys can ask in the comments where that came from, because you always do. But you have Mothra with Cara Dune and K2, and note that Cara and K2 are both relict, and then Cassian is also relict. Pow is gear 12, and he dies like a chump there. Let's fast forward a little bit. The first attempt, we tried to kill B2, and it just failed. Pretty bad. So, second attempt, we decided to try clearing B1 first, so you gotta wait until B1 is visible, because Magna Guard's making him invisible. And otherwise, yeah, we're just going to continue trucking along once B1 is available. And we'll all be happy. The problem with a Mothma team trying to kill B2 first, like it's kind of conventional wisdom, kill B2 first so he doesn't consistently just get his big AoE and stuff. B1 heals him too fast. Like, it's death by a billion paper cuts with this team. And they happen to kill B1 extremely efficiently, in fact. So, kill B1 first. B2 will get a few turns, that's fine. Then you can focus on B2. No one's healing him at that point, and you're good. So, fast forward here, and we just whittle him down, slowly get him down. And I think this would have ended up being... So we get the revive here. This would have ended up being a 57, I believe. Maybe a 56, but... it's a pretty effective way to do it. You need relics, of course, to be able to equal theirs, or something like that. But I think mine were actually a little bit lower than his in total. And I realize not everyone has K2. I'm not 100% that this is the final team either. In fact, I think if I get someone to gear 13 before this, I'm going to be using Hoth Rebel Scout instead of POW. I'm just not sure, though. So here's another thing. I won't show you guys the whole thing. This is actually Fatal's idea. He wanted to test it on my account, though. So we're using Thrawn Lead with Vader to counter a Darth Revan team. We don't have Watt here, and one of my viewers actually suggested we try Sunfac here with the rest, and Sunfac is actually really nice with Geobrood Alpha because he's going to be shooting and assisting at the same time, every time one of the Geos goes, and that's half the team. There's 6 guys here, and there's 3 Geos. Every time a Geo goes, he's going to assist and dispel. So that's nice. You have to play around with the shenanigans. There's kind of like a flowchart in a way to make sure that Vader, even if he's feared, you're still good. Even if Basti goes before him, you have a way for Thrawn to be able to hand the turn to Vader. And then with Shore Trooper is the one that Fatal wanted to test because he doesn't have him. And Shore Trooper can make this team really start spinning. Thrawn gets some crazy turn meter with Shore Trooper. It makes the whole team harder to kill. We actually have 2 pre-taunts here with the Brute and Shore Trooper. It's a good time, guys. My Vader doesn't hit super duper hard, and yet was able to just consistently destroy Darth Revan. So there is that. Let's move forward though. So here's another thing. I don't think this fight lasts too long. So here's during our arena, during our stream, I had to climb in Fleet Arena. So I wanted to test out my Rebel fleet. Now this is before Bistan was Relic 4, but I think Scarif Rebel Pathfinder was Relic 4, so still a pretty quick Bistan. And I always, the RNG versus Malevolence can be a little dicey just with all the debuffs and everything. Like, can they cause enough debuffs to Biggs to get rid of that, to get rid of those buzz droids before he just gets totally dragged into hell, or what? Like what exactly happens? So I mean, there's some RNG here. What if Millennium Falcon just chooses to never assist just because RNG happens? Like, that happens. But this is totally something that I've been practicing for the last 2 weeks. Gosh, I keep embellishing this. It's actually, for the last full week, I've been practicing with this fleet. I've been climbing in arena with it, and I haven't lost yet. There are some times that I feel like I should have lost, so I'm not saying that it's the most consistent ever, like 100% win, but if you get enough relics on your rebels, they can be super consistent against even the best fleets. So keep that in mind, and you'll probably see more of that as we progress. Now, here's something you guys may or may not have seen this. With Bastila lead, and I said I wasn't going to talk about GL counters, but here's one of my favorites, guys. So Basti lead, she hands them all tons of tenacity. Luke's leadership gives his whole team a ton of turn meter when different effects and negative, both negative. No, I think it's just negative once they're resisted. So you have like 3PO handing debuffs out, or trying to. Chewie is handing them out. Chewpio's handing them out. When Han goes, he's trying to reduce turn meter, which counts as a debuff or a negative status effect. And so this team generates so much turn meter every shot that even if it's not super optimized against this like full crazy Jedi team, which you probably won't see that much in GAC unless the guy's being lazy, even against it though, you still have legs. I tested it, I did it a couple times, and this one was the more successful one, so I'm totally cherry picking, guys. The other one ended up being a loss, but I still killed, I think, 3 of the Jedi, or maybe 2 of the Jedi and Watt. So not perfect, but against a lesser team with less dynamic Jedi, I think it works. Also, probably works better if you optimize your attack strategy a little bit. I think that I would have probably benefited from hitting only Jedi with a ton of protection, the bonus protection, because once the bonus protection is gone, then all the tenacity goes away, and then they're not resisting as much, people aren't gaining as much turn meter, etc. So there's still some work to be done, but this is something we were testing, kind of a cool idea at least. And it takes a while. Han dies. We're eventually able to drag Jedi Knight Luke to hell, and yeah, that's it, guys. So we got the win there, and yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening this season. Come check me out. Come watch live. Come talk about 3v3 if you want 3v3, but talk about 5v5 in our Discord. It's a good time, guys. I'm excited about this season, and I hope you are. So without further ado, I know this video has lasted a little longer, even though I've tried to keep it shorter, But I hope you appreciate some of the videos, some of the resources, etc. And yeah, let's just call it good. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.